Hello, welcome to Voice of the Valley. My name is Mary Anderson, and I'm sitting in today for Emmy Moore Minister. Our special guest is Katherine Chernick Fauvre. I love saying that, like I really understand French because it's French, the Fauvre. And she is a actually world-renowned Enneagram expert. She also has a background. I'm going to read this biography because it's so perfectly worded. Katherine Chernick Fauvre, founder of DragonWorks Consulting, Ennea Style, and Ennea X, is a published researcher on the Enneagram and the instinctional subtypes. She is a certified Enneagram teacher with Palmer Daniels, Riso Hudson, and Hurley Donson, and has also studied with Condon, Naranjo, Wolinski, and Jackson Bear. An invited speaker in diverse fields, Katherine has taught the Enneagram and presented her findings on the instinctional subtypes at a variety of conferences, including the International Enneagram Association, Association of Image Consultants International, Color Designers International, Arizona Trial Lawyers Association, and the California Association of Marriage and Family Therapists. In addition, she is a former member of the board of directors of the International Enneagram Association and has an extensive background in image consulting and personal growth in the corporate world. Katherine is teaching the Enneagram in many venues currently. She has used the Enneagram in corporations, in the high-tech world, financial institutions, image services, the California penal system, California legal system, non-secular world, private schools, and the public sector. Her Enneagram consulting includes working with mediation services, media coaches, corporate training programs, team building, executive coaching, typing interviews, and conflict resolution. Welcome, Katherine.
Oh, welcome, Mary. Thank you for having me.
Well, I will just start off by saying I am continually on a journey to learn more about the Enneagram. I found it to be one of the most valuable studies of human nature to help me in sales, in conflict resolution, even with children, to helping me understand when someone gets angry. I mean, it just is so valuable as a tool to give you an opportunity to sort of be on the other side. So I'm wondering, should we start off with talking about the Enneagram, the symbol, and then we'll talk about the 9 different numbers?
Yes, let me address what you said. The Enneagram is a very complex system. After 20 years, I learn more every day with each client, each situation that I encounter. However, it is a simple, easily understood 9-point personality system that enables people to at least see the traits and the qualities that are different from the other types. We each have one. There are only 9. They all are positive. They all have difficulties, assets, liabilities. But we have one predominantly that's in charge, like our CEO, and that's what's very helpful in relationships, in working with others, whether it's personal or professional or family of origin. It helps improve every dynamic in your life that involves others, even actually with respect to yourself. It can help you develop critical self-awareness.
And understand why something, like maybe when your boss gets really short when there's a deadline and seems so angry, to be able to understand that that's maybe more about him than you or her than you.
Right. It enables you to depersonalize what feels so very, very personal. And to recognize that it's just a different tracking system, a different personality style that's motivated by different things. It's not what we do, but why we do it.
Okay, now I know of another, well, there's actually, I'm sure, lots of different personality systems, but there's one, the Myers-Briggs. Is that like the Enneagram?
Well, what's different is the Myers-Briggs is an excellent typology for identifying the process that you will use, how you're going to go about handling a problem. The Enneagram identifies why you're doing it, the motivation, the defense strategy, how you're trying to protect yourself, what view of reality that you're seeing.
Okay, so if we had the problem of moving the table, out to the parking lot, we would both come at that differently, and maybe we'd disagree on how we would do that. And you're saying the Enneagram would help me to understand your kind of thinking about how to solve the problem.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or at least if we had a conflict, why we would have a different perspective on how it should be handled. Exactly.
Well, how about this? Could we start with a basic introduction of the 9 different Enneagram kind of personality types?
Yes.
Okay.
So the symbol itself, it goes back to Pythagoras, but the way we're using it today is based on a psychological understanding of these 9 types. They're around a circle because they're all equal. There's no one type is better than any other. They're in 3 different centers, and that's simply because 3 types are motivated by the same center. The green types are motivated by gut and instinct. The pink types are motivated by their heart and relating and feelings and their image. And the blue type, the 5, 6, and 7, are motivated by their head, their ideas, assessments, and rational thinking. The key thing is that the 8, 9, and 1 kind of give us the power of the Enneagram, and it's that it is a profound and comprehensive tool to really harness and transform self-defeating behavior into truly life-enhancing personal empowerment. The gift of the Enneagram is that the Enneagram, one can, through self-discovery, create and sustain meaningful and lasting relationships, improve those relationships with others. And the wisdom of the Enneagram is that it recognizes these 9 very different yet inherently valid views of reality. Mm-hmm. And we need all 3. We need aspects of all 3. We need all 9 types. And at a glance, the 1 is the perfectionist, the reformer, the judge, the crusader, and can be a critic. The 2 is identified by being the giver, the helper, the nurturer, the caretaker. The 3 is the performer, the motivator, the achiever, the producer. The 4 is the tragic romantic, the kind of the tragic individualist as well, and the mystic. The 5 is the observer, thinker, investigator, sage. The 6 is the devil's advocate, loyalist, skeptic, and guardian, and or rebel, actually. Mm-hmm. They're either compliant or rebellious. And the 7 is the epicure, the entertainer, the optimist, the adventurer. And the 8 is the leader, the solution master, the maverick, the protector, and can be intimidating. Each type has a positive and negative. And the 9 is the peacemaker, the mediator, the naturalist, the accommodator, and can be held back at mm-hmm. times, because of this desire for peace.
Okay, so when you talk about, I think that's a great way of looking at it. You talk about the head, the heart, and the gut, and it's sort of 3 different kinds of thinking energy, maybe feeling energy, and more sort of action energy. In your study of the Enneagram, is the goal to integrate those 3 parts of yourself? Absolutely. The gut instinct, the more visceral response, is one type of intelligence. It's instinctual intelligence. The heart is more the emotional intelligence that's come out a lot in the last few years. And then the head is more the rational kind of intellectual intelligence. And we really need to use all 3 to successfully problem solve. But we will tend to use one more than the others. Because it's maybe our comfort level. We know it better, it's comfortable, and sometimes we forget that there are other perspectives. But using all 3, we come up with the best solutions for handling problems. Now, does it end up like if your parents are a certain number, that they give birth to the same numbers? Well, temperament is inherited, so there are certain qualities, there may be certain types that are dominant in one family. However, it's more that your parents' type is how you were guided. So you're going to have that influence, but it won't necessarily be your type. Mm-hmm. And maybe as a child, if you felt you didn't fit in, exactly. Maybe it's because of their types and you being different. And that's once you understand the Enneagram. Yes. Mm-hmm. For example, my son
was a fear type that was motivated by fear. He was 6 on the Enneagram, and I was constantly teaching him how to not be afraid. And then my younger son came along, and he was the same type that I am, an 8, and he understood that message. And so it helps for parents to understand their own type when they're teaching their children and motivating their children by understanding where the child is coming from.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the introduction, I found it very, very valuable for understanding my children who are different than I.
We can sort of map people's interviews, the way they respond, their body language. We can have a pretty good idea of what Enneagram type celebrities are, or people that have written a lot. There will be patterns in the way they speak, the word choices, the way they maneuver through the world. What, you know, like Donald Trump is potentially an 8. I've never interviewed him, so I can't confirm it. But his
demeanor,
the way he talks, sounds like an 8. And on the website at enneagram.net, we give examples of potential celebrities or people in history, what type they may have been. And it's helpful. We have videos on there to show you little clips so that you can see the body language, like who sits forward, you know, who slinks down or looks...
lowers their
head.
Yes,
it's a very different perspective, and body language is a part of our image. It's a part of our presentation.
And probably clothing too.
Clothing, yes. However, we all have to dress for certain roles, like when we need to be professional, we need to be far more tailored, and when we are dressing for ourselves, maybe we'd be very casual or more or funky, something of that nature. But why we would choose the outfit would be indicative of type. So if someone had the same exact outfit that I have on today, maybe it's because they love the color green. 8s would choose it because they were comfortable and they felt empowered in some way.
Sort of grounded, maybe.
Grounded, solid, centered. Like nothing's going to limit me. I'm not going to deal with having to tend to anything.
No ruffles or stuff.
Not too much stuff.
Interesting. So when when a person first starts learning about this, what is a typical learning curve before you can start to kind of get a feel for it, and how would you recommend someone begin their journey in studying the Enneagram?
Well, there are several online tests. We offer a free test at enneagram.net. Other online tests are available, and it's exploring it and seeing how it's true for you or not true for you. And some people get their type immediately. 8s in particular usually know their type immediately. Even if you don't know your own type immediately, you'll recognize a parent or a friend, and it begins there, and then you narrow it down. But just reading about it, there are some great books on the Enneagram, a lot of research that's been done.
Many psychologists and psychiatrists and people that deal with helping people to understand how they perform in the world and what challenges them use the Enneagram.
The Enneagram as we teach it today is really a psychological tool, but it's based on those basic principles that there are 9 motivations. And Ennea is simply Greek for 9. So Enneagram just means 9 on a graph. The Enneagram as we teach it today is really a psychological tool, but it's based on those basic principles that there are 9 motivations. And Ennea is simply Greek for 9. So Enneagram just means 9 on a graph or symbol. And that's sometimes confusing, the name alone, but it just means 9. 9 perspectives, 9 views of reality, 9 ways of looking at any situation. It's the lens through which we evaluate the world.
These are just exquisite. Katherine has put together both words and pictures that represent the one perfectionist.
Yes, what's especially helpful is that when I did this research in 1995, I had people that knew their Enneagram type send me images that they felt exemplified what it meant to be one of these 9 types. So in the case of the one here, the collage that's up, this is the perfectionist, reformer, judge, crusader, or critic. And if you are a 1, you would want to be accurate, honest, fair, and objective. But most importantly, you'd want to be respectable, to do what is right and what you feel is appropriate. You may have problems with resentment at times, and under stress you may be angry, nitpicking, and overly critical. But at your best, you are wise, act with integrity, and offer sage guidance to the world. It's quite extraordinary type.
Okay, what would you be like if you were a number 2?
The 2 is the giver, the caretaker, helper, nurturer, advisor, or they can be the manipulator. And if you are the 2, you want to be appealing, giving, caring, and heartfelt. Most importantly, you want to be needed, consider important, and appreciated for your efforts. You may have problems with pride, and under stress you may be bossy, overly demonstrative, or manipulative, as I mentioned. But at your best, if you're a 2, you're altruistic, giving, empathetic, intuiting the needs of others. This is the person that truly wants to help others.
So kind of a Mother Teresa, Princess Diana maybe kind of person.
Yes.
Okay, at number 3, the achiever?
Yes, the 3 is also what the U.S. is, and corporate America anyhow.
The United States of America
Yes.
is like a 3 country?
Corporate America, very much. So we all have to be this way in business. This is the performer, the motivator, the achiever, the producer, and someone who seeks status. The 3 wants to be competent, efficient, accomplished, and dynamic. And if you are the 3, most importantly, you want to be good at what you do and look good doing it. You may have problems with vanity, and under stress you may be self-promoting and can be self-deceptive and quite competitive. At your best, however, you are self-confident, motivated, and highly productive. These are the producers, the people who really can accomplish a lot in a very short period of time.
Worker bees.
Very efficient oriented.
Yes. Okay, now let's look at type number 4, the artist, tragic romantic.
Yes, this is an overanalyzing type. The 4 is often the mystic, and if you are a 4, you want to be inspired, intuitive, original, and most importantly unique, as well as passionate, true to your feelings, and authentic. Authentic is a really important word for 4. And you would see yourself as sensitive, expressive, and spiritual. You may have problems with envy, and under stress you may be moody and can be haughty or overly emotional. But at your best, you would be emotionally self-aware, creative, and extraordinarily humane.
So when it says artist, it doesn't mean if you're an artist, you're a 4.
No, it's an artistic perspective, and not all 4s are artists, and not all artists are 4s. However, the 4 is looking at life through what is aesthetically pleasing, whether it's the use of words or the way color is put together. They're sensitive, very sensitive to aesthetics.
Okay, so they notice pretty clothing, beautiful things, and they maybe see something that someone's too busy working might not notice.
Very impacted by beauty, 4s.
Okay. Let's look at the number 5, the observer, investigator, thinker person.
The 5 wants to be informed, knowledgeable, concise, and perceptive. And most importantly, if you are a 5, you want to be self-sufficient and not have the entanglements of obligation. You may have problems with avarice, and under stress you may be arrogant, unfeeling, and distant or remote. At your best, you are objective, insightful, and extraordinarily clear-minded.
Go to number 6.
Okay, if you're the 6, you want to be safe, secure, fit in, and belong. Most importantly, you want to have certainty and security, putting your faith in a trusted authority, belief system, or tradition. You may have problems with fear, and under stress you may be provocative, doubting, or persecutory. But at your best, you're friendly, dutiful, engaging, and loyal.
Okay, and number 7, the epicure.
Yes. 7 wants to be fascinating, fascinated, optimistic, enthusiastic, most importantly stimulated, creative, positive, and excited. And they see themselves as fun-loving, diverse, and playful. May have problems with overdoing. Under stress may be scattered, jaded, greedy, and at your best, inspirational, visionary, and joyful.
Okay, and number 8, the
Yeah.
leader.
The 8 wants to be open, honest, direct, and straightforward. Most importantly, independent, direct their own course. They have problems with being excessive, going to extremes, maybe intense, overpowering, unwilling to self-limit, and make great magnanimous leaders.
And number 9, the final number.
Peaceful, relaxed, comfortable, natural, want to be agreeable above all else, avoid conflict, may have problems with inaction, and under stress may be passive-aggressive or indifferent, but at the best, they're accepting, mediate differences, and are universally connected.
Wow, we just went through a lot of information. I think I'd tell the guests we'll do another show with Katherine, and please visit her website, enneagram.net, and study this some more. I promise you'll have some fun, and I thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
We're still Mike.